Hola! Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and activate the bell so that you can see all of the new videos. Today I am here with a very special guest from the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where I was born. Some people call him Thomas, some people call him Tom, but I like to call him Dad. Welcome, Dad. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, it's so nice to have you home. We don't get to see you very often.
It's true.
It's a real treat.
Yes. Yeah, I live in South Carolina, which is a 20-hour drive to get to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And so I thought it would be fun to talk to my dad, what life is like here. Dad, what draws people here to the UP?
Oh, it's just such a beautiful place. No, really, it's where you were, the culture, the immigrants moved from Finland, and
Yeah.
we're kind of born in, I wasn't born here, but I was born not too far from here, but was raised and lived here most of my life. And the reason people came here, it was like their culture in Finland. A lot of the areas that people that live here are people that moved and migrated from Finland to come to the wonderful land of opportunity.
Yeah.
And the climate and the four seasons are much what they were used to, and they like to farm and log and their work, and mining was a big thing here. So we move here, and this is home, and this is life, and you learn to love it.
Yeah. So there are 4 seasons here, but I feel like winter is a long season. It gets cold. How do you handle the cold winters here?
Well, when I was young like you look forward to winter because you have a lot of different things you do in the winter that you don't do in the summer. We do a lot of snowshoeing. We love to downhill ski, cross-country ski. We got snowmobiles. We got hill sliding.
That's true.
It's a whole different season, and you love to enjoy. We're outdoor people, so we love to enjoy the outdoors, and we love the 4 seasons. And winter, when you're getting older, like we are right now in my time in my life, 6 months of winter does get to be a little bit long. We have
Yes.
snow that starts in October. In the spring, I watched behind my building over here where it piles up a little more. The last snow melted on May 17th.
That is a long winter.
It's long winter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you mentioned people do mining up here. What other sorts of things do people do for a living, and what do you do for a living?
Probably the biggest, mining was big years ago. It still does go on in different parts of Upper Michigan. Iron mining is a big part of it. There used to be a large iron mine here, and copper mine actually, but it has pretty much closed down now. Right now, probably the largest industry in the UP, because we've got so much forest land and logging is probably the biggest thing. So we got logging, and we have a lot of sawmills. And personally, for myself, I worked at a factory when I first got married, but after that I just wanted to try to find something to do for myself. So I ran across an opportunity where we can provide logging, sawmills, and a lot of different types of industry and business with safety and first aid supplies. So when I was 27 years old, I started a business, and it's called Mr. First Aid, and we sell safety and first aid supplies to businesses.
Yeah. And you've been doing that for the past 38 years?
Yes, 38 years,
That's
Camille.
amazing.
It really is.
And my dad raised 5 girls here. We're at home right now, which is pretty amazing. 5 girls, no boys. You put us to work hauling wood, doing outdoor chores. And yeah, I feel like we really learned to work hard and learn the value of hard work.
Well, there was one saying in our house when you girls grew up, and I don't know if you remember it, but there are no wimps in this house.
That's true. My dad would say that.
And I'm reminded that often by my eldest daughter,
Jessica.
Jessica, would
Yeah.
say that. My dad always said there's no wimps in this house, and there
That's
certainly
true.
weren't.
They work.
You showed that the other day when you were out there making firewood with us.
That's true. So you are a hunter and a fisherman. Do you feel like that's common in the UP as well, hunting and fishing?
Well, we're right in nature. There's a lot of lakes, Lake Superior, inland lakes. There's abundance of wildlife as far as deer and bear,
Yeah.
and it's just part of the culture. A lot of people do it. You know, this is known for that area because there's an abundance of it. And it's healthy eating. You know, you got good, healthy fish and organic deer that in the backyard. So I just go behind the house. And for the last several years, I have shot my deer behind the house.
Wow. I mean, yeah, and fishing. We had your amazing walleye a couple days ago. And gardening. You do a lot of gardening.
Right. That's another hobby that we like to do. It's very rewarding. It's just a beautiful thing to see God's creation when you plant the seeds, and you see the blessing when you take care of it, nurture it, and you got good healthy food. So you can pretty much up here, if you really wanted to, you could pretty much live off the land. You got your everything you pretty much need here, and so you don't need to rely on the grocery stores and everything if you don't want to.
Yeah.
And we do a mix. Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you mentioned the deer meat and the vegetables, the fish. What other things would you say are typical UP for eating?
Probably one of the biggest, most famous things for the UP is the pasty.
Pasties, it's true. What is
And
a pasty?
A pasty is like a homemade meat pie. It's a flour crust. You put meat, potatoes, carrots, and a little bit of rutabaga in there, and you put it up like a little pie. It's like a one-size serving, maybe a pound. And the reason it became famous is because the miners used to take it down in the mines when they used to for their lunch, and you could heat it up or you could eat it cold, and it's just a really good healthy entree.
It's delicious.
And people who don't know what a pasty is, oftentimes they say pasties, but no.
That's true. I'd like a pasty. No, pasty. Just speaking of words, what do you think are some things that we say in the UP? I know our accent is different. It's more Canadian. We're close to Canada. It's on the other side of Lake Superior. So I know the pronunciation of words, like I would say bag or tag. It's bag, tag. What would be maybe some words that we say up here?
Hey, that's a good idea. No, really, because we say hey a lot before we address any situation. Hey, should we go out and make some wood? Or hey, do you want to play some ball? Or hey, should we go fishing?
We say that at the end of sentences too. Like, that's a good idea, hey? It's almost
Correct.
like the Canadian A, but it's hey. Very common up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're probably about the most normal humans that there are. Right?
I guess so. I feel like it's so set apart up here. It's so different. Something else that I'm remembering is, like, in the South, we say y'all. Up here, we say use guys, which is very unique and not proper English, but it's something that I feel like we say. I grew up saying that. Do you guys want to come with me?
Yeah, that would be a saying that you would say without really giving it a second thought. You guys, what do you guys want to do? And it's you guys are, and it's got that little bit of a, we basically, you could say it's a little bit of a Finnish accent.
Yeah.
So when you guys listen to this video, you might be wondering what language that I'm speaking, but it is English with just a touch of genius added to it.
Oh my gosh. That's true, Dad. That's true. Oh, so speaking of Finland, do people here know Finnish? Your dad was fluent in Finnish, but...
My father was raised in a home that spoke Finnish. His great-grandfather moved from Finland, and they lived just outside of Duluth, Minnesota area, and that's where I was actually born, and I lived there till I moved here when I was going to 8th grade. And my father moved here to pastor a church, and oftentimes he was asked to speak in Finnish, so he did speak Finnish sermons. And correct, but personally myself, I never really learned Finnish. But you being a language person, I'm sure that it's part of your list over here to learn part of your native language in addition to all the other languages that you learn.
Yeah, I've thought about learning Finnish, but wow, it is a hard language for sure. Have you ever ran into the problem of somebody not understanding your Yooper accent?
I wouldn't say they really don't understand it. Oftentimes they say, where are you from?
Yes.
What part of the country do you live from?
Yes.
And of course, what else can you say when you live up here? We live in God's country, paradise.
Paradise.
Right.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I feel like being back home as an adult, I appreciate the nature, the lakes, the wildlife so much more than when I was a kid. I feel like when you're a kid, it's normal, right? You don't
Right.
necessarily value it.
Yeah, you don't really know what you have until you leave.
That's true. That's true.
And you come home. When you've been home here now for a while, it's just like, I can't believe how beautiful everything is.
Can't wait to move back to the UP. No.
But overall here, the life is good. It's like Camille was saying, the winters are long and they are cold. And how do we survive in the winter? It can be very expensive to live here because in the wintertime, the average temperature, oftentimes it gets maybe 20 below zero, whatever that is Celsius. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
talking Fahrenheit here.
Yeah.
I don't understand the Celsius stuff, but but anyway, it can be very cold, 20 below, and oftentimes, I remember one year we had 73 consecutive days of measurable snow.
Wow.
So it's not at all unusual to get 300 inches of snow, and oftentimes we need to be shovel off our roofs 2 or 3 times a year because the snow load can get so heavy.
Yeah.
And to heat your home out in the country, there's no natural gas. We have fuel oil that we can get, which a lot of people will use,
Yeah.
but that's very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So we just go out in the woods and we cut down trees and we dry firewood, and we can save an awful lot of money. But really, either way, you can pay for your fuel oil, which would be anywhere from probably $700 to $1,400 a month. You can go out there and work and pay it. Or you can just do a little bit of physical work, cut down trees and bring it home, and you don't pay for anything.
Yeah, it is a lot of physical work. We were cutting down trees yesterday, hauling wood. It's a good workout.
It's definitely good exercise. It's
Yeah.
very rewarding, and it like I said, it saves $700 to $1,500 a month on
That
your
is
fuel.
huge savings.
And then you can
Yeah.
keep your home nice and warm. You know, you can walk around barefoot in a t-shirt when it's stormy and cold and comfortable. You don't feel guilty that you're burning expensive oil.
Right, that
Fuel.
old. That's a southern word, Dad. Did you learn that from me? No.
Perhaps.
Well, Dad, it's been so fun to do this interview with you, to talk to you, reminisce a little bit. Thank you so much for being here on my channel.
It's been a pleasure to be with you, Camille. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope people will learn a little more English today.
Yes, me too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Isn't my dad amazing? I'm glad you got to learn and hear the Yooper accent and learn more about life in a very, very northern part of the United States. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.